Big. Sorry. Hi friends, let me get set. Here. Hello. Hello. Hello everyone. How are you all doing? All okay? Can we begin our session? Just give me 2 minutes to set myself up. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Hello, everyone. So, all are you ready to have our ninth lesson? I'm so happy and excited to tell you all about the ninth lesson, right? And today's our topic is, the necessity of HWPL and the enactment of the international law. The necessity of HWPL and the enactment of the international law, right? And that is on DPCW, Declaration of War and Cessation of Peace. So today we'll be discussing all about it, right? Okay, sorry. Could we just check it out once again? Okay. Okay, so get back again. Once again, let's begin. Everybody's ready? So today we are having a ninth lesson of PLT. The ninth lesson is the necessity of HWPL and the enactment international law. DPCW, Declaration of Peace and Cessation of War, right? So we will be dealing with this. The main objective of this is what is the limitations of international peace laws. As we have studied in our previous lectures, that there have been a lot of peace communities, there are a lot of peace international laws, and but we will also study today that what is the difference between the old international peace laws and the law of war we are working hard for it, for the implementation, for enactment of by DPCW, right? By HWPL. Perfect. So today we will be studying all about this, all about the international laws and about their limitations and the DPCW, the enactment law, international law prepared by HWPL. Perfect. And let me begin. So this lesson on live on YouTube, I am having because I am doing my PLT with IWPG. That's called International Women's Peace Group. Yes, you all know that. And there are 10 lessons. Thus, uh, I have covered all the lessons and we have experienced the real need of international peace laws, right? You're all clear till then? Well, those who do not know, I am Agatha Sushila Anthony Dias, the founder of Amchagar, TEDx speaker, and the founder of I Agatha Dias, and the Success Secret Way to Success, a law of attraction book, has been written, authored by me. Okay? So, and today we will be studying, and let's go back what we have been doing these 8 lectures. Okay. Okay, do you remember anybody? Can anybody give you some ideas what were we discussing? Yes, we were discussing initial stage, first stage. First lesson was more of life, the miraculous way of life, the precious life. Then we all studied of different aspects of it, right? The precious life, the different types of wars, and the different types of peace community. Nine today. Then we have learned all how people are working through and what is the need of why this IWPG is working hard to bring all the women of the world together under IWPG so that we all can together come together, which HWPL. That's like H stands for heavenly peace, and the W for world peace, and P for peace, world peace, and L for restoration of light. It's a big NGO. You all know we will be discussing more about it. This is an NGO which is just 10 years old, but the way it has worked, all that we'll be discussing, right? And today's our topic is the DPCW, Declaration of Peace and Cessation of War. Perfect. So let's begin. Today will be lot of I have my humble regards and honor to this international law. I don't want to add my version into it. As it is written, I want to give you with all purity and virginity so that we will be able to understand because every word has its own meaning, its own depth. So I don't want to change anything in my vocabulary. So we will have to listen and we'll go through. Perfect. You're all okay? Okay, so then when we were studying, let's begin with the introduction. When we were studying about all the different international laws, even United Nations has brought past international law, but we have realized that in spite of that, we had a world war one and two, and there are a lot of wars which, as we are studying in a lot other classes, right? There was Gulf War, there was civilians war, and I think when I speak about war, it really pulls me up like that. And so all those wars were still taking place in spite of international law. So the DPCW has really found out what is what mistake they have done it so we can bring change in. So let's discuss a little bit of limitations. What limitations we have found out with researchers along with all the lawyers, expertise. Okay, so what loopholes or what limitations were there so that when DPCW was made, those all things were covered. So we will be studying more on that part. Perfect. So let me tell you, listen to me carefully. You can also go through this YouTube later on because you need to understand, imbibe into yourself, understand it. Because in one lecture, you won't be able to understand. It is really depth, right? So, okay. So, what I realized is there was like weak enforcement of mechanisms, right? That means international law lacks the binding enforcement power of domestic laws, relying on voluntary compliances from the nations, right? And there was second point was that reactive rather than preventive. Okay, it was prepared like when the problems will happen, then they will work upon it, right? There was a political veto power that decisions were often hindered by veto power held by the permanent United Nations Security Councils members, reducing effective enforcements. Yes, they always get stuck up because of those. Even if you want to do a lot of work, but there are political veto powers really troubles us. There were like state-centric approaches in the international laws. That is the role of a civil society, grassroots movements, and the individuals in peace building was overlooked. They didn't even think of it. But I'm sure that DPCW has looked into all those things. Then we had inadequate responses to modern, like they did not discuss about this sort of a wars, like wars, conflict, like the cyber warfare, religious ethnic strifes, and proxy wars fueled by ideologies for economic disinterest, right? There was a problem with resistance to disarmament. Okay, because nations often resist disarmament efforts due to concern over national security, right? Insufficient peace education. There was no peace education. They just made a law, and but there was no peace education so that we could build it generation to generation. So that was the biggest insufficient peace education that international humanitarian law outlines ruled of war, but lacked the focus on fostering a culture of peace and understanding among the future generation. They just overlooked about this. But then we realized that the role of DPCW have taken care of all those things. Like I would say, let's get up one first point that the DPCW, the Declaration of Peace and Cessation of War, it's like proactive conflict prevention is established as a framework to prevent conflicts and the measures like disarmament and the dialogues, right? And there is a second point we will look into that enforcement of international agreements. There is a fair representations, promotes equal representation in international negotiations, preventing biases and ensure equitable resolutions. Then there was addressing systemic issues. Okay, focusing on tackling the root cause and the conflicts that creates poverty, inequality, lack of education, and to create sustainable peace. And we also have seen that they were like there were collective global security. That means emphasizing disarmament meant and peaceful resolutions dispute under the international laws, and redirection of resources, encouraging reallocating all the resources from the materializations to peace building initiatives. That was really beautiful. And another point was that grassroots involvement promotes active participation from civil society through the education and campaigns like peace letters. You all have seen how many peace letters, how many rallies, even in our school and colleges, how much we have worked. Because when we are the part of HWPL and part of IWPG, we had done so many activities to involve all the class. Like every corner of the world, IWPG and HWPL has reached, so that they can all pick up, the all grassroots people are involved, that these are our human rights, because nobody can abolish the human rights, right? We also had a peace education, and this is the one of the lectures but I'm attending this, and I'm giving it out. This is a part of my training, that peace education, like how beautifully DPCW has developed, has enacted. It's like everything is put up, whatever was lacking in earlier international laws. Like the peace education, of course, integrates peace education into the framework of foster to culture non-violence and understanding among future generation, right? And I think, I believe, as I have been for a long time with working with the HWPL or IWPG, right? I have been experiencing how hard work and how committed those all volunteers are, because they've experienced, they have feel the pain of it, and they want that this DPCW, if it's accepted, is a beneficial to everyone, right? And so my personally, I believe, DPCW, sorry, sorry, I personally believe that when this DPCW was believed, as per my knowledge, that it was not just like few people came together, like 23 countries, all the experts, the legal expert people came together, and then they build up this 10 articles and 38 clauses into that, considering all the aspect of it, learning from each other, making mistake. I think it is said that it is 3 times they have revived, and then they brought it and they presented and declared it to the UN. And still we all, along with the HWPL, we're all working hard that this be accepted by the all over the world, and then let the world peace, the dream come true, and we will be the legends to that, right? Yes, this is my personal belief, and I really believe that one day it will happen. It's only that, no, now people are building up their army for soldiers. Now what I would say, we should start building the army of peace messengers, and then the peace, the whole purpose why we have come down, the precious life what the universe has given to us, we will leave our higher path. We, nobody has come to this world that they all die on the boundaries or all die for the nations. No, we all have come with a higher purpose, which we are lost with our ego and selfishness, as we already studied in earlier lectures, right? So now we will be discussing little more for articles of the DPCW, like what is all about. So it is like, it is, I said, it is a 10 articles and 38 clauses. We will be discussing a little more on 10 articles, right? So these 10 articles are like, say, states like that. I would just read to you with all my respect and honor, because I know this has been great job done by all the legal experts of 23 countries, right? So let me read and you'll better listen. And you can also go back to the same thing and then, understand a little more deeply, because one reading, one understanding thing doesn't work. Even I might have read a lot of time. And in fact, I have put all these laws, the 10 articles of DPCW into my calendar, into my school calendars. Let me see, my school calendar is not here right now, but I have put on the school calendar so that all the children can read them, right? So, well, this is like zero, like first to 10. The article 1 to 7 is defines the role of states in ensuring freedom, peace, justice, human rights. It emphasizes the provision of threats, respect for sovereignty, non-intervention, internal affairs, while promoting diplomacy, conflict prevention, and disarmament, right? Articles correctly serve as a guide for state to act responsibly and collaboratively. Hmm? And article from 8 to 10, it is all highlights the importance of cultural and religious harmony for the fostering peace, right? And they encourage inter-religious dialogue to build mutual respect and advocacy, integrating peace education into global curricula and nurture a culture of non-violence. An article emphasizes the need for a culture of peace that transcends borders, ideologies, beliefs, ensuring sustainable harmony across the nations. How wonderful it is, right? Do you feel the pinch of it, the depth of it, right? And the preamble of DPCW sets the intent and the purpose of the declaration and to usurp comprehensive vision of a peace world. Okay, this is for just for understanding of you, and then let's put up at the point. So we will just go through the all the 10 articles, right? So the first article is prohibition of the threat and the use of force, right? So advocates for the elimination of any form of threat or use of force to resolve disrespect, ensuring global security. Hmm? And there is a war prevention, emphasizes provocative measures to prevent the burst. Okay, I'm so sorry, to the birth, emphasizes proactive measures to prevent the outbreak of wars through diplomatic cooperation and early intervention mechanism. There's a third point is a development of friendly relations. Encourage encourages state to build and sustain friendly international relations to foster trust and cooperation. I still remember the video what I seen. I'm just missing that video. I can put you the link into the chat box and you just go through that video. Okay, or you can go to HWPL website. You will find that video. It's so beautiful. Every article has a beautiful pictures, and then article is written. Okay. Then okay, the fourth one, the fifth one is freedom of religion and belief, and that speaks to the protection of the rights of individual to practice their faith, their belief, without discrimination or persecutions. Right? Because we know most of our wars are on based on the religious, due to religious beliefs, right? And there's another we have asked another article speaks by DPCW's respect for international laws. That was the biggest mistake which was done when United Nations has passed international laws, and the respect was not given to that. They didn't understand or that they didn't have that impactive power on that, and so they have made it this that there should be respect for international laws, and that shows that promotes adherence to established international laws and conventions to make global order and peace. Can you imagine how beautifully designed everything? We have another protection of civilians. See, when we saw the civilians war in our previous chapters, it was terrifying. Like when I seen the videos on this, the civil war in Syria, that was most painful. After looking at it, I could not even do any work. I would just keep myself silent. And then we had taken up this that protection of civilians should be there into the wars. They should not be involved into it. So safeguarding civilians during conflicts by prohibiting attack and on non-combattable, ensuring humanitarian assistance to them. Right to self-determination. Right to self-determination says, or is self-defense, it says, that support the right of people of self-governance and independence, free from submission interferences. There's another eighth number is freedom of expression and communication. Yes, that's very important for us. That encourages open dialogues and communicating among religions and the cultures, and to promote the peace and the understanding building. Like by now, you all people know that on September 18th, we all have this RAP, World Alliance. Like people from all over the world, all religious people come together and they speak and they say the God is one, and then the peace environment is created. So it is HWPL has taken a big step. The all over the world people they call them together, and then they they do this sort of a dialogue with their cultures and with their religious aspects, so that the non-violence environment takes place. Okay. Then we have another part is like promotion of peace and through education. Yes, we all are very well aware that they have HWPL has a lot of peace academies. They are communicating peace education. They are building the huge ground level women. That the whole objective of that is IWPG wants along with HWPL that the whole world's women come together. They go for this peace education. As I'm going through one of the peace education lectures, And I also wish all the women, those who are watching this, come and join this so that we all come together and fulfill the dream and keep a good future, the best future for our children, our generation, our children, that they won't have that fear to live their life. It will be really wonderful if we all come together and help a group which is already doing so much. Within 10 years, they have done extremely work. Like they have done, we have already spoken to that. They have been around hundreds of countries. They have collected lakhs of people. They have collected 60 from the 60 countries of peace agreements, and the work is going on. That's really wonderful and a huge task what they are doing out. It's just we have to get in whatever is they are talking to us, whatever they explaining to us, whatever they're teaching us, what to follow them. I request all the women of the world come forward, understand this, feel the need to save a lot of women of the world. Those are really suffering. Our sons and daughters are suffering. Our future will be suffering. And can we take this decision to come forward and learn this PLTA? Right? So this peace education, peace through education, such a wonderful, isn't it? Even we have started this peace education with our small nursery classes where we talk to them our value systems which will bring into them the peace so that the word war moves away from our dictionaries in the future generations, right? And then we, of course, with considering all these things, we are all working out that there the 10th number, the 10th article speaks the spreading the culture of peace, right? Calls for collective efforts to foster a global culture of peace through education, dialogue, international cooperation. Just imagine that we create a culture of peace. What beautiful message we will leave for the humanity if this is accepted. But in the process, when we were discussing that why DPCW is struggling still to get its own seat, again the same as we have seen earlier, the political issues which keeps it down. And we know the pressure when it goes from all over the world, from all the grassroots, from all the states heads and all. One day will be there, sure. The DPCW will be accepted by United Nations and all the states and nations and the countries. And the whole purpose we are in this world, we will be there. We will fulfill our purpose of life on this earth, right? So I would expect today's lesson, and I invite everyone that join hands together with IWPG or HWPL, that we come together and we build a world of peace. Okay, so God bless you, all of you. Thank you for listening to me. I know there's a lot of technical, big vocabulary, but it has its own depth. So we all have to revise this, reread again and again, internalize, imbibe ourselves with these 10 articles. Then once we understand, then we can spread this word, reach PCW, to among the people, with the women, with the men, with the youth. As we already know that HWPL is working in different partnership, right? Where we have the women, where we have youth, and they all are doing extremely good job. So today we bless everyone, all those who peace family members, those are involved into this task. And may the universe bless them abundantly and they succeed into their task. God bless you, all of you. Thank you for listening to me. I'm Agatha. This is my ninth lecture of PLT. Thank you. Thank you so much.